The symbols of President Assad's victory are everywhere in Douma, as are the signs of the barbarity with which it was achieved. The Syrian government's taking us to an area the West alleges chemical weapons were used with devastating effects.
This is medical point number 1.
We're taken into a fortified tunnel complex where a makeshift hospital still operates. It was here this video purported to show survivors being doused in water after being exposed to chemical weapons. We interviewed 4 hospital workers under Syrian government supervision who all had identical stories claiming there were no victims of a chemical attack. ADNAN JARKAS is a nurse who was here on April the 7th.
We saw a civilian man bringing his daughter in and shouting gas. And then he just disappeared after that. The white helmets came in bringing people. It was chaos. That's all that happened. Most of the cases were asthma and no chemical attack that day.
But some of the staff from this hospital fled to northern Syria when Douma fell. They've told a British Syrian doctor those who stayed were pressured by the regime to change their story about the chemical attack.
They were put under enormous pressure. The situation there is a matter of life or death for them. If you don't comply with what the regime wants, really, then you're going to lose your life.
What's clear is that the events of April the 7th are now subject to a vicious propaganda war, one in which claim and counterclaim are beginning to obscure the truth. We can't be certain what happened here, but the videos of the bodies and the testimonies of people who were here are compelling. But the Syrian government dismisses them as lies and forgeries.
The Syrian government took us to 2 cellars in Douma which reeked of ammonia. They claim these are rebel chemical facilities. This yellow canister is similar to one pictured at the scene of one of the alleged attack sites, but we cannot say who put it here. We didn't see any chlorine or chemicals that are precursors to sarin. We're also shown one of the 2 sites where the chemical weapons were allegedly used. Inside, the day after the attack, this video gives a sense of the utter horror. This man was on the scene the next day with his camera, capturing scenes, most of which are too graphic to broadcast. He's spoken to ITV News and is sure the victims were gassed.
We smelled a strange odour and it was similar to the chlorine smell we use in house cleaning. Next morning we were told that many people died in the city because they were targeted with poisonous gas in the civilian areas.
He also interviewed 4 survivors who are now in northern Syria. They also insist the attack was real.
My daughter was hit by the chemical. She was in a state. We tried all medications. She was at the clinic for 2 days, lying next to dead bodies.
I saw people foaming at the mouth, and they were in very stiff positions, unable to move.
The Syrian government says UN inspectors were back in Douma today, and given the conflicting accounts of what really happened here, their findings will be crucial in this battle for the truth. Dan Rivers, News at 10, Douma.